Today we will do something really cool. We will draw a sprite on our canvas. Then we will learn how to move the sprite, and also we will have nice, even though minimalistic animation. The sprite that we have is a spaceship, and it can fly up, down, left, right, diagonal if we want this, and we also have some animation as well. Let's start by basically copying our file from the previous lesson, which if you haven't watched, the link will be in the description. But let's just use it as a starting point. So what we need here, we don't need here a ball anymore, so we can delete this. But we still would need update and draw functions, so we'll just make them empty, at least for now. Done. Now we need to create an actor class. An actor class is basically an abstraction in Pygame Zero, which you use for different objects, for example, for showing your player and player position or non-player character. But basically an actor is an entity that has position, some behavior possibly, and view, which is our sprite. Now, if you ask me what sprite is, it's basically a pixel art image that represents an object. I have created one using artificial intelligence in Bing, and I'm using this picture for my spaceship sprite. And if you want to know how to create sprites in a better way using artificial intelligence or manually, please drop me a comment. I will make a video on this topic. Meanwhile, I basically used this image and created a sprite. Now, to make our sprites available for the Pygame Zero, we need to create a folder images here and put our sprites here as well. Let me just copy them. And I have copied two sprites here, one that we will use for fire at some point and another one that we're going to use for the spaceship. An important thing is that this sprite has to have a transparent background, otherwise it's not going to look very pretty. So let's go here and let's create an empty background representing a space. And for the background color we will use this deep blue color. Let me just put it here. And now we're going to draw our screen fill, which will basically create a background for us. Let's run the program and see what we have here. So Python spaceship py. Yes, we have this nice deep blue background, which can represent an empty space. So now we need to draw our spaceship. Let's start by drawing it just in the middle of the screen. For this, we are going to use a class actor. So what we need to do, we need to import class actor. And now we're going to create an object representing our spaceship. Let's create a class spaceship, which is going to extend actor. And for now, it's going to have, well, basically no behavior, just nothing. It's an empty class. And then we can create the variable which contains an instance of this class, and we will show that it has a sprite from file spaceship.png. And we also will specify the position of the spaceship. There are two ways to do this. One is to use coordinates x and y, and alternatively you can use a variable pos, which basically takes x and y in tuple. It doesn't really matter which one you use, they work the same way. So now in update we still don't have anything, but in draw we're going to draw our spaceship draw, and let's see how it looks. And basically we have our spaceship right in the middle of the screen. A next step would be to learn how to move the spaceship. To do this, we will need to change the update method of the spaceship class. So we're going to have update. And here we are going to create what would be called event listener. So basically we are going to check if any key is pressed. So for example, if keyboard left is pressed, we move by 1, but in this case it should not be angle, it should be X. If keyboard right pressed, we move X by 1 to the right, and then we do the same for Y. Yeah, let's just add keyboard here so IDE is happy with us using the keyboard keyword. Now I need to call update here, so spaceship update. Now it should be moving. Yes, so I'm pressing up, I'm moving up, I'm pressing down, I'm moving down, I'm pressing left, I'm moving right, I'm pressing right, I'm moving left. So I need to swap the left and right things here, so basically just change it to plus to minus 1. Let's see if it works now. Yes, up, down, left, right. Yes, it works indeed. So now we need to make sure that we can't fly too far away from the screen, because now if I fly too far up, I will basically disappear until I fly down and then I appear, which is not helpful. So I'm going to add simple checks, making sure that I can't fly too far away. And the checks are all the same, so here I'm checking that I'm not too far away from 0. Here I'm checking if I'm not too far away from width. Here I will be checking if I'm not too far away from 0 for Y coordinate, and here I'm going to check the height. So basically the same check everywhere. And let's see how it changes the behavior of our application. So now I'm moving to the left, and basically when I go too far to the left and only half of my spaceship is visible, I can't move further, which is good enough. Now let's add the animation. To add an animation, we need to create a new class. Let's call this class Fire. It will also extend actor, and this Fire class need to be attached to our spaceship. So let's just provide a spaceship for this class as an argument to the constructor. So that's our init. It's going to use fire.png. Yeah, that's correct. Now it's not taking X and Y, instead it is taking a spaceship, which is actor in our case, and it also taking, let's say, relative position, which going to be tuple. We don't need this. This was auto-generated, not very helpful. And instead, what we need to do is we need to align X and Y with our spaceship, and then create update function to make sure that we are moving with the spaceship. So basically copying it here. Just let's make self spaceship and self relative position, which I see I haven't passed here. So self relative position, yeah, that's all right. Then adding self spaceship here and self here. Great. Now when we are creating our fire, let's create fire which is taking spaceship and also takes this as a relative position. Now our fire update goes here, and we also draw our fire. Let's see. Yeah, now it's just too far to up of our spaceship. Instead of this, I want it to be down to the left and right. So I basically want to have two fires to the both sides of my spaceship. So let me I will call this fire right, because this will be to the right. Let's say this is 10, and this is 50. I need to rename this to far right, far right. Now this too far to down, and not enough far to the right. Okay, so let us move this. So that's gonna be, let's say, 20, and that's gonna be, let's say, 15. Let's see. Yes, that looks good. And similarly, let's create a far left. Yeah, which will be basically a mirror to the left side. So we copy this, and we copy that, and let's see. Yes, now it looks nice. What doesn't look nice is that I don't want the fires to be visible all the time. Instead, I want fires to be visible only when I press a key. And to do this, what I'm gonna create here. So let's create the variable which decides if the fire is visible. So let's call it visible and make it false. Now in our update, what we're gonna do, we're going to basically check if any of the up, left, right, and bottom are pressed. So it's going to be if keyboard up, or keyboard down, or keyboard left, or keyboard right. Then we set visible to true, and else we will set visible to false. And now to make this all take in any effect, we need to change our draw function. Basically, the draw function is going to check if visible, and only then we will be drawing. Let's see. I'm not touching any button, so you don't see anything. And now I will be touching buttons. I'm going up, fire is here. I'm going down, fire is here. I'm going left, I'm going right. So basically it works the way I want. That's fairly cool already. But I would like to make the code a bit more clean. So I see a certain duplication here. For example, this and that are basically the same stuff. So let's create a function for this. We will call it sync position, and we'll just take this. Now we can do sync position here and here. Actually, we don't need to sync position in constructor at all, because it's not visible here. So we need to sync position in update only, which means we don't need a sync position function. We just take this from the constructor. Let's see if I have broken anything. No, it's still working. So fire looks okay now. Let's close this. The spaceship looks almost okay. What I want to change in spaceship, I want to take this to the constructor. Just no reason to have it out of the constructor. Let's put it here. What I would like to do is to take this one into the variable. Let's call it velocity. Let's put it as a constant velocity, and that's going to be 1, and we just change this with self velocity here. So if we want to change basically the speed of our spacecraft to, let's say, 5, we can do it in a single place. Let's see. Yes, now our spaceship is really fast. Now let's check this out. This looks really boring. We are basically repeating the same command. And instead of doing this, what we can do, we can create a collection of sprites that we have. Let's call them just sprites. And we will put our sprites in a list. And here we will basically iterate over list and update every sprite in the list. And we will do the same here, but we will just draw sprites. And let's see, we have gotten rid of lots of lines of code. So our program is just 79 lines of code. Let's see if it's still functional. Yes, it is still functional. So in this lesson, I demonstrated how you can create a very simple playable character. You will be using a sprite for this, basically an image from the internet or an image that you have created yourself. You can also add some cool or not so cool animation to this, but at least you can make it less boring. Now you can control your player with your keyboard. In the next lesson, we will combine first and second lesson in one, and we will create a simple yet very fun and complete game. If you think this video was useful, please don't forget to hit like button, share this video, write me a comment, that helps me a lot. It was Testing Coder, and see you around.